Good morning, friends. Now, today, let's try to understand what is law. We will attempt to define law. See, there are umpteen number of definitions of law, and law is defined differently in different schools. There is no one universally accepted uniform definition for law. One point which we have to remember is that, like any other branch of knowledge, law also is being perceived and interpreted differently by different schools of law. There are mainly 3 schools of law, and each school is viewing and interpreting law in a different way. The 3 schools, the major schools, ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട schools, they are: 1, the analytical school; secondly, the historical school; and thirdly, the ethical school. And the point is that each of the school is viewing and perceiving law in a different way. How the analyst view a law is totally different from how the ethical jurist is viewing a law. So there is no one universal definition of law which is perennially true and which can be adopted and accepted by everyone. This point has to be kept in mind. Now, let's start with various definitions. There are certain definitions which define law as rules followed by the courts or applied by the courts. There are very broad definitions of law which is given by philosophical jurists. Among so many such definitions, the most classic definition of law is the definition by Austin. Austin was a jurist, and there is no other jurist whose definition has had such a wide acceptance. There are so many criticisms against the definition of Austin. Some say that it is outdated. Salmon says that Austin's definition cannot be accepted at all. In spite of all these criticisms, Austin's definition still remains to be the most acclaimed, accepted, and widely followed and studied definition of law. Today, let's try to understand what is Austin's definition of law. I'll try to make it as short as possible so we can finish it off in 15 minutes if possible. Actually, it takes 2-3 hours to totally explain the concept of Austin, but we'll make it as fast as possible. First of all, the Austin's definition is usually termed as falling in the category of analytical, imperative, and positive school of definition. What does it signify? Analytical school of law is a school which studies law as it is. It is not concerned with the historical aspects of law or the ethical aspects of law. And Austin's definition totally falls in this category. Secondly, the imperative school means it is a school which views law as a command. And this is definition of Austin is a classic definition where law is viewed as a command. And hence, it is again falling in the category of imperative school. Now, positive school is something which views law as a which views that law evolves or comes out of the power of the state, or they give more importance to the concept of state. And again, Austin's definition falls in this category too. Now, let's go to what exactly is the definition of Austin. I'll repeat this definition one or two times so that it will go directly into your mind. Austin defines law as the command of the sovereign to the subject, obliging them for a course of conduct. So, again I repeat it, law is the command of the sovereign to the subject, obliging them for a course of conduct. So the point which you have to remember in this definition is, Austin views law as a command. And it is the command of whom? It is the command of the sovereign. So law is the command of the sovereign to the subject, obliging them for a course of conduct. This definition of Austin, of course, is considered to be the most classic definition. Widely accepted, but it has its own critics. Now, when we analyze this definition, law as the command of the sovereign to the subject, obliging them for a course of conduct, we can see there are two major terms in this definition. One is the term command, and secondly, it is the term sovereign. Now, what is a command? Now, we know what a command is in general terms. But as per the definition, when we analyze the concept of command, what is a command? Now, command, according to Austin, is a wish or desire coupled with a compulsion that if this wish or desire is not fulfilled, an evil consequence will follow. So we know that there are several desires, wishes, which we communicate. When I say someone to please come in, there is no command in it. But when I say please stay outside, or I'll use my force, or you take it in another way. When a student enters the class, after some time I say, please stay outside. There it is in form of a command. Why it becomes a command? It becomes a command because there is a wish or desire that is communicated to another person, and it is coupled with the feeling that if the wish or desire is not followed, an evil consequence will follow. And what is that evil consequence? That is the punishment, which Austin's term as the sanction. So according to Austin, the power of every law, which is in the form of a command, is the punishment which is attached to it. So this is the first aspect of Austin's definition. That is, law is a command. And what is a command? Command is a wish or desire communicated to another person, coupled with a feeling, or coupled with an element that if it is not followed, an evil consequence called sanction will follow. Austin again says that command, another aspect of command is command should always come from a superior. A son cannot command the father. But nowadays my child, he usually believes in such a way that he commands me. That is another aspect of it. But generally, I can command my son and not the other way around. So, a command comes from a superior authority to a inferior authority. To Austin, usually the superior authority is the state, which he calls by name the sovereign. And hence, coming back to the definition, law is the command of the sovereign to the subject. This coming from the superior authority called the state to the subject, that is the citizens of a state. So the first aspect of the definition is the command. I think it is clear to you. You can go through